Dr. Sarah Chen stood at the observation deck of the Kuiper Research Station, her breath creating small clouds on the reinforced plasteel window. The distant sun appeared as little more than a bright star from this far out, but today it wasn't the familiar light of humanity's home star that held her attention. Instead, her eyes were fixed on the strange object that had appeared at the edge of their long-range sensors 3 days ago. Energy signature analysis complete. Dr. Chen called out Dr. James Rodriguez from his station. You're going to want to see this. Sarah moved away from the window, her magnetic boots clicking against the metal floor as she made her way to the sensor array. The holographic display showed readings that made absolutely no sense. The object, roughly the size of a small car, was emanating energy patterns that defied known physics. That can't be right, she muttered, reaching out to manipulate the holographic data. These readings suggest it's drawing power from nothing. 0-point energy, James replied, his voice barely above a whisper. We're either looking at the greatest scientific discovery in human history, or we're not alone. Sarah finished. She straightened up, her mind racing through protocols that had been established decades ago, but never used. Contact Earth Command. Priority Alpha. We've got first contact scenario 7 in progress. The next 48 hours passed in a blur of activity. Earth Command dispatched 3 ships from the Jupiter Defense Fleet, the fastest vessels humanity had ever built. Sarah watched as they arrived, their fusion drives creating brilliant arcs against the black of space as they decelerated. The object hadn't moved. It just sat there, pulsing with impossible energy, waiting. Final approach vector confirmed. Captain Maya Patel's voice came through the station's comm system. Her ship, the EDF Magellan, had taken point on the approach. Dr. Chen, are you seeing any changes in the energy signature? Negative, Captain, Sarah replied, her eyes fixed on the readings. Wait. The object's energy signature suddenly shifted, and a beam of coherent light shot out, scanning each of the approaching ships in sequence. Before anyone could react, a voice filled every communication channel, speaking in perfect English. Greetings, representatives of Earth. Your species has achieved the necessary technological threshold for initial contact. We are the Galactic Consortium, and we've been waiting for you. Sarah felt her heart skip a beat. The voice continued, please designate a primary communication hub for diplomatic protocol initialization. Captain Patel responded first, her voice steady despite the historic moment. This is Captain Maya Patel of the Earth Defense Force vessel Magellan. We can establish secure communications through our ship's primary array. Acknowledged, Captain Patel. Initial data package incoming. The station's systems lit up as they received the first transmission from an alien civilization. Sarah watched as the data streamed across her screens, star charts, basic technological principles, and something else that caught her attention immediately. Captain, she called out, these readings, they're conducting neural pattern analysis through our communication channels. They're scanning our brains. Before anyone could respond to this revelation, the alien voice returned, but this time with a note of what could only be described as surprise. Anomaly detected. Your species possesses unique neural patterns unseen in any other sentient race in known space. This changes everything. The tension in the room shifted. Sarah could feel it. They had all expected to be the primitive newcomers, but something about humanity had caught these advanced aliens off guard. What do you mean, changes everything? Captain Patel demanded. There was a pause before the response came. Your neural architecture shows compatibility with systems we thought lost to time. Humanity may be far more important to the galaxy than we initially assumed. Request permission to send diplomatic delegation. Over the next few hours, the situation evolved rapidly. Earth Command authorized the diplomatic contact, but with conditions. The meeting would take place on the Kuiper station, with full security protocols in place. Sarah watched through the observation window as the alien ship finally moved. transforming from the simple probe-like object into an elegant vessel that seemed to bend space around it. As the ship docked with the station, she couldn't shake the feeling that humanity had just stepped onto a much larger stage than anyone had anticipated. The first alien to step through the airlock was nothing like what she had expected. The beam stood roughly human height, its form composed of what appeared to be crystalline structures that shifted and flowed like liquid. It wore no protective suit, seemingly comfortable in the station's atmosphere. "I am Nexus Guide Zaraval," the being announced, its voice resonating directly in their minds, while crystals near what might have been its throat pulsed with light. "And I bear news that will reshape your understanding of both your species and the galaxy itself." Sarah stepped forward, designated as the scientific liaison for this historic moment. "I'm Dr. Sarah Chen. We're honored to make your acquaintance, but I have to ask, what is it about our neural patterns that's so significant?" Zaraval's crystalline form shifted, creating patterns that somehow conveyed both excitement and concern. "Dr. Chen, your species' neural architecture matches the control systems of the precursors, the species that built the foundation of all advanced technology in our galaxy. Technology that has lain dormant for millennia because no species possessed the correct neural pattern to activate it. Until now." The implications hit Sarah like a physical force. Humanity, who had thought they would be joining the galactic community as newcomers, might instead hold the key to its greatest mysteries. "There's more," Zaraval continued. "We've detected active precursor technology in your solar system. Technology that's been waiting for minds like yours to awaken it." Captain Patel stepped forward. "Where?" "Everywhere," Zaraval replied. "Your entire solar system is surrounded by dormant precursor defense systems, construction facilities, and technology beyond your current understanding. Systems that have been invisible to both you and us until your neural patterns triggered their recognition protocols." Sarah looked out the window at the seemingly empty space around them, her mind struggling to grasp the implications. Humanity wasn't just making first contact with alien life. They were about to inherit the legacy of one of the most powerful civilizations the galaxy had ever known. "We should warn you," Zaraval added, their crystalline form dimming slightly. "Not everyone in the galaxy will be pleased to learn of this development. The balance of power has just shifted dramatically, and humanity must be prepared for the consequences." As if in response to Zaraval's words, alarms began blaring throughout the station. James rushed to his console, his face paling as he read the data. "Multiple vessels just appeared at the edge of the system," he reported. "They're not consortium ships." Zaraval's form pulsed with urgency. "The hegemony. They must have detected the activation signals. They're here to ensure humanity never reaches its potential." Sarah looked at the approaching ships, then back at their alien visitor. One thing was clear. Humanity's quiet existence on the edge of the galaxy was over. The real question was whether they were ready for what came next. "Well," Captain Patel said, her voice firm with resolve, "I guess it's time to see what humanity can really do." The neural key, the orbital defense platform above Mars, wasn't supposed to exist. Yet there it was, shimmering into visibility as Dr. Sarah Chen pressed her palm against what had appeared to be empty space. The structure's surface rippled like liquid mercury, responding to her neural patterns in ways that defied conventional physics. Recording all measurements, James called out from the safety of their research vessel. "Neural activity is spiking in your temporal lobe, Sarah. How does it feel?" "Like remembering something I never knew I forgot," Sarah replied, her voice distant. Through her neural link, she could sense the vast complexity of the precursor station. It was less like interfacing with a computer and more like becoming part of a living organism. "The architecture isn't just responding to me. It's teaching me how to use it." 3 weeks had passed since first contact, and humanity had discovered dozens of dormant precursor installations throughout the solar system. The hegemony fleet that had arrived to contain humanity's emergence had been stopped cold when the first of Earth's dormant defenses activated, responding to the neural patterns of nearby human ships. Captain Patel's voice crackled over the comm. Dr. Chen, we've got movement on the long-range sensors. Consortium diplomatic vessels approaching, but they're keeping their distance from the defense grid. They're still trying to wrap their heads around how quickly we're accessing these systems. Sarah could hardly blame them. The consortium had spent millennia studying precursor technology, making slow progress through reverse engineering. Now humanity was activating and operating it intuitively, like children remembering how to ride a bicycle. Got something big, Sarah called out as new information flooded her consciousness. This isn't just a defense platform. It's a manufacturing facility. And there's something else. Something about our DNA. The facility's database was vast, but Sarah's mind could navigate it with increasing ease. The precursor's interface technology functioned as a natural extension of human consciousness, allowing her to process information at unprecedented speeds. They engineered us, she whispered, the revelation striking her like a physical blow. The precursors, they didn't just leave us their technology. They created humanity to be their successors. The implications were staggering. Humanity's neural architecture wasn't a coincidence. It was deliberate design, crafted to interface with the galaxy's most advanced technology. But why had the precursors disappeared, leaving their chosen inheritors to develop in isolation? Before Sarah could delve deeper, alarms blared through the research vessel. Multiple unauthorized neural access attempts detected. The ship's AI announced. Unknown entities attempting to interface with precursor systems. The hegemony, Captain Patel growled. They're trying to hack in using captured human neural patterns. Sarah, can you lock them out? Sarah's consciousness merged deeper with the precursor systems. She could feel the hostile probes now, clumsy attempts to replicate human neural signatures. The defense platform responded to her thoughts, sending cascading waves of counter-intrusion protocols that effortlessly swatted away the attacks. They're using crude copies, she reported. The systems can tell the difference. It's like trying to fool a parent with a photograph of their child. The basic pattern might be similar, but the essence is missing. James's voice carried a note of excitement. Sarah, your neural activity is off the charts. The connection is getting stronger. He was right. With each passing moment, Sarah could feel her understanding of the precursor systems expanding. The station wasn't just responding to her commands. It was upgrading itself, optimizing its systems to better interface with her neural patterns. New contact, Captain Patel announced. Massive energy signature at the edge of the sensor range. Something's coming through from hyperspace. Sarah stretched her awareness through the defense platform sensors. The incoming vessel was unlike anything in either the consortium or hegemony databases. It was precursor in origin, but active, not dormant like the installations they'd discovered. A new voice echoed through all channels, ancient and powerful. Protocol mesh confirmed. Human neural patterns detected, beginning awakening sequence. The space around them seemed to shiver as more installations revealed themselves, a vast network of interconnected precursor technology emerging from dormancy. Sarah could feel them all through her neural link, each one coming online and connecting to the growing network. They left us more than weapons, Sarah realized, understanding flooding through her enhanced connection. They left us everything they knew, everything they were. But they wanted us to develop on our own first, to become our own species before we inherited their legacy. Captain Patel's voice was filled with awe. How much technology are we talking about, Sarah? Enough to change everything, she replied. But the hegemony won't stop trying to take it from us. And now we know why they're so afraid. Humanity isn't just gaining access to advanced technology. We're becoming what the precursors designed us to be. Through her neural link, Sarah could sense more ships approaching. Hegemony reinforcements, no doubt drawn by the massive activation of precursor technology. But she felt no fear. With each passing moment, humanity's connection to their inherited technology grew stronger, more intuitive. Captain, she called out, a plan forming in her mind as she accessed more of the station's capabilities. I think it's time we showed the galaxy exactly what humanity can do. The defense platform hummed with power, its systems fully awakening under her control. Around the solar system, more humans were connecting with other installations, each activation strengthening their collective understanding of their inheritance. The precursors created us to be their legacy, Sarah said, watching as the platform's manufacturing systems came online. I think it's time we lived up to that responsibility. As if in response to her words, the massive precursor vessel that had emerged from hyperspace began broadcasting a message, not in words, but in pure information, downloaded directly into the minds of every human connected to the network. The message was clear. Humanity's trial period was over. The full power of their inheritance was now within their grasp. All they had to do was prove themselves worthy of it. Sarah smiled as she felt the defense platform's systems fully integrate with her consciousness. The hegemony wanted to prevent humanity from claiming their birthright. They were about to learn just how impossible that task would be. Battle stations, Captain Patel ordered, her voice steady despite the gravity of the moment. Let's show them what humanity can really do. The solar system erupted with activity as humanity's inherited defenses prepared for their first real test. The age of human isolation was over. The age of ascension had begun. Consortium crisis. The Grand Chamber of the Galactic Consortium had never seen such chaos. Crystalline beings, energy forms, and various organic species all trying to speak at once, their voices creating a cacophony that echoed through the massive hall. At the center of it all stood Captain Maya Patel and Dr. Sarah Chen, Earth's first representatives to this august body. The humans cannot be allowed unrestricted access to precursor technology, thundered Ambassador Crix of the Silicon Collective, his crystalline form flashing with agitation. The balance of power was artificial to begin with, interrupted Zaraval, their crystalline structure pulsing with calm blue light. The precursors clearly intended humanity to inherit their legacy. Our own studies confirm their genetic engineering. Sarah stepped forward, her neural interface subtly connecting with the chamber's ancient systems. The precursor technology that powered the consortium's headquarters responded to her presence, holographic displays shimmering to life around her. We understand your concerns, she said, her voice carrying naturally through the chamber. But the hegemony's attack on our solar system proved that waiting is not an option. Humanity must claim its inheritance to survive. The displays showed footage from the battle 3 days ago. The hegemony fleet, attempting to overwhelm Earth's defenses with sheer numbers, had instead been systematically dismantled by precursor technology under human control. What they hadn't expected was how quickly humans were learning to use their newfound power. Look at how they interface with the systems, whispered an energy-based delegate, their form flickering with what might have been envy. No translation protocols, no adaptation period. Direct neural connection. Captain Patel touched a control on her wrist, and new images appeared. This is what we discovered yesterday in the Kuiper Belt. The hologram showed a massive structure unfolding in space, like a flower blooming in fast motion. A precursor manufacturing facility, capable of producing ships and technology far beyond current consortium capabilities. The chamber erupted again, but this time with a different tone. Fear was being replaced by opportunity. Several delegates were already drafting alliance proposals on their data terminals. The humans have revealed only a fraction of their discoveries, Ambassador Crix noted, their tone shifting from hostile to calculating. Perhaps arrangements could be made. Earth is not interested in becoming anyone's weapon. Captain Patel cut in firmly. We're here to propose a different approach. Sarah nodded, interfacing with the chamber systems again. The holograms shifted, showing complex technical schematics. We've discovered that while only human neural patterns can fully interface with precursor technology, we can create adaptation protocols. Limited access, but access nonetheless. The chamber went completely silent. Even the energy beings stilled their constant movement. We're proposing a new framework for galactic cooperation. Sarah continued. Earth will serve as a bridge between current galactic technology and precursor systems. We'll work with any species willing to approach this as a collaborative effort rather than a power grab. And the hegemony? Asked a serpentine delegate from the Outer Rim. They will not accept this arrangement. As if on cue, emergency alerts flashed through the chamber. A massive hegemony fleet had just appeared at the edge of consortium space. This session is now an emergency council, announced the consortium prime, their energy form blazing. The hegemony demands we hand over all humans in consortium space for protective custody. They threaten war if we refuse. Captain Patel smiled grimly. They're afraid. Our latest activation sequence woke up something they didn't expect. The holographic displays shifted again, showing a massive vessel emerging from what appeared to be a fold in spacetime itself. The precursor ship they'd awakened, now fully operational under human control. By the first light, whispered Zaraval. Is that the Stellar Forge? Sarah confirmed. A mobile manufacturing and research facility, capable of producing technology that makes our current ships look primitive. And we found 6 more like it, scattered across the solar system. The chamber erupted in overlapping conversations again, but this time there was no fear, only intense interest. The balance of power wasn't just shifting. It was being completely rewritten. We don't want war, Captain Patel declared, her voice cutting through the chaos. But we won't submit to threats. Earth is offering the consortium a choice. Stand with us. Help us restore what the precursors built and share in the benefits, or stand aside. Through her neural interface, Sarah could sense more precursor systems activating across the galaxy, responding to the presence of human neural patterns. It wasn't just about military power. They were awakening libraries, research facilities, and technology that could transform life for every species. There's something else, she announced, new information flooding her consciousness through the neural link. The hegemony. They're using corrupted precursor tech, dangerous implementations that could destabilize the galaxy itself. That's why they're so desperate to stop us. The consortium prime's energy form pulsed with concern. Explain. Sarah interfaced with the chamber systems once more, revealing data that made several delegates physically recoil. They found a way to force minimal activation of some precursor systems using stolen neural patterns, but the safety protocols are failing. They're risking a cascade failure that could tear open the fabric of space-time itself. We need a decision, Captain Patel pressed. The hegemony fleet will reach consortium space in 6 hours. Earth has the technology to stop them, but we need unified support. We need to know where the consortium stands. The chamber was silent for a long moment. Then, one by one, delegates began signaling their support. Even Ambassador Crix's crystalline form glowed with acceptance. The consortium stands with Earth, the Prime declared. Let us hope the hegemony can be made to see reason. But Sarah, still connected to the precursor networks, could sense more ships arriving. The hegemony wasn't coming to negotiate. They were coming to try to seize what they thought was weapons technology, not understanding that the precursor legacy was far more than just military power. Captain, she said quietly, we need to get back to Earth. What's coming? We're going to need everything we've awakened and more. The fate of not just humanity, but the entire galaxy, now hung in the balance. The precursors had designed humanity to be their successors, to inherit their legacy and guide the galaxy into a new age. Now that destiny was about to be tested in fire. As they prepared to leave the chamber, Sarah felt a new connection forming through the neural interface, more precursor technology awakening, this time at the heart of the galaxy itself. Whatever was stirring there, she knew it would change everything. Again. The awakening. The bridge of the stellar forge hummed with power as Sarah Chen merged her consciousness with its systems. The massive precursor vessel, nearly the size of Earth's moon, represented more computational power than every computer humanity had ever built combined. Yet through her neural interface, controlling it felt as natural as breathing. Hegemony fleet approaching targeting range. Captain Patel announced from her command station. 500 ships. Make that 600. 700. They're throwing everything they have at us, James observed, monitoring the neural activity of the human crew interfaced with various precursor systems throughout the ship. But they still don't understand what they're really dealing with. Sarah opened her eyes, holographic displays dancing around her. Because they think this is about weapons, they haven't realized that the precursor's legacy is about creation, not destruction. The Stellar Forge's manufacturing systems were already at work, constructing not weapons, but something far more ambitious. Through the neural network, Sarah could feel other humans across the solar system, each connected to their own precursor installations, all working in concert. Multiple hyperspace signatures detected, the ship's AI announced, its voice carrying notes of both machine precision and organic warmth, a unique fusion of technologies that only human neural patterns could facilitate. Consortium allied forces arriving. Space itself seemed to ripple as friendly ships emerged from hyperspace. Crystalline vessels from the Silicon Collective, energy field ships from the Consortium Prime's people, and dozens of other designs representing the united species of the Consortium. This is Admiral Zaraval, a familiar voice transmitted across all frequencies. The Consortium stands ready. The Hegemony fleet filled the void ahead of them, their ships dark and angular, bristling with weapons. At their center was something that made Sarah's neural interface scream warnings, a massive construct of corrupted precursor tech, its surface writhing with unstable energy. By the stars, James whispered, they've built some kind of dreadnought using their stolen neural pattern data. The power readings are off the charts, but something's wrong with it. The patterns are degrading. All ships, hold position, Captain Patel ordered. Dr. Chen, are we ready? Sarah extended her consciousness through the Stellar Forge's systems, feeling the massive project they'd been working on reach completion. Ready. Beginning final activation sequence. A transmission cut across all channels, the Hegemony's Supreme Commander, their first direct communication since the crisis began. This is your final warning. Surrender all precursor technology and submit to protective custody, or we will be forced to take action. You cannot hope to stand against our numbers. Sarah allowed herself a small smile as she felt the activation sequence complete. Actually, we're about to show you exactly what we can stand against. She sent the signal through her neural interface, and the space around their entire fleet began to change. What had appeared to be empty void shimmered and transformed as thousands of dormant precursor defense platforms awakened simultaneously. A vast network of interconnected stations and satellites, hidden in dimensional pocket space for millennia, now emerged into normal spacetime. By the first light, Zaraval breathed. The legends were true. The precursor defense network was here all along, Sarah confirmed, waiting for the right neural patterns to activate it. This is what the Hegemony sensors detected, not just a few scattered installations, but a complete defensive grid surrounding every major star system in the galaxy. The Hegemony fleet faltered, their neat formations wavering as the full scale of what they faced became apparent. But their corrupted dreadnought surged forward, its unstable energy readings spiking dangerously. Their artificial neural interface is breaking down, James reported urgently. The dreadnought's power core is becoming unstable. If it goes critical this close to a populated system. Sarah didn't hesitate. Through her neural link, she could see exactly what needed to be done. The Stellar Forge's systems responded instantly to her thoughts, and suddenly the space between the fleets was filled with something new. Not weapons, but thousands of small crystalline devices. Neural stabilization units, she explained as they moved into position. The precursors didn't just leave us weapons. They left us tools to help heal and rebuild, to fix exactly this kind of damage. The devices activated, surrounding the Hegemony dreadnought in a web of pure energy. Its corrupted systems began to stabilize, the dangerous power fluctuations evening out. Stand down. Captain Patel transmitted to the hegemony fleet. Your dreadnought is seconds away from a cascade failure that would destroy everything in this system. Let us help you shut it down safely. For a tense moment, no one moved. Then, slowly, the dreadnought's weapons powered down. Other hegemony ships followed suit. This is not what we expected. The hegemony commander transmitted, their voice heavy with realization. We thought. You thought we would use this power the way you would, Sarah replied. But that's not what we were designed for. The precursors didn't create humanity to dominate the galaxy. They created us to help guide it into a new age. Through the neural interface, Sarah could feel more precursor installations awakening across the galaxy, responding to the activation of the defense network. But they weren't weapon platforms or military installations. They were research centers, medical facilities, and engineering complexes. The Stellar Forge isn't a weapons factory, she continued. It's a tool for creation, for building things that can benefit every species in the galaxy. And it's just the beginning. The hegemony fleet began to withdraw, their corrupted dreadnought now stable under the influence of the neural stabilization field. But Sarah's attention was suddenly drawn to something else, a signal, powerful and ancient, emanating from the galactic core. Captain, she said, her voice filled with wonder as new information flooded through her neural interface, I think we just triggered something big. Something the precursors left as a final test. What kind of test? Captain Patel asked. The kind that will determine if we're truly ready for their full legacy, Sarah replied, watching as the signal grew stronger. And I think we're about to find out what that means. Heritage. The galactic core blazed before them, countless stars packed so densely they formed a wall of light. The Stellar Forge, accompanied by ships from both the consortium and the now cooperative hegemony, held position at the edge of what Sarah Chen had come to think of as the precursor's final doorway. Neural signal is still strengthening, James reported from his station. Whatever's calling us, it's getting stronger the closer we get. Sarah stood on the forge's observation deck, her neural interface alive with information streaming from the ancient signal. Around her, representatives from a dozen species waited in anticipation. Even Ambassador Crix and the hegemony's supreme commander had come to witness whatever the precursors had left at the heart of the galaxy. The signal, Sarah said slowly, processing the information flooding her consciousness. It's not just calling us. It's changing us. Every human connected to the network. Our neural patterns are evolving. Captain Patel stepped forward, concern evident on her face. Evolving how? Before Sarah could answer, space itself seemed to fold open before their assembled fleet. A massive structure emerged from what appeared to be another dimension entirely. A sphere of impossible size, its surface covered in patterns that pulsed with living light. A Dyson sphere, Zaravel whispered in awe. Not around a star, but around something else. Sarah's neural connection surged, and suddenly she understood. It's not a weapon, or a shield, or even a power source. It's a cradle, the precursor's final gift to the galaxy. Through her enhanced connection, Sarah could feel the sphere's purpose unfolding in her mind. The precursors hadn't disappeared. They had evolved beyond physical form entirely. But they hadn't abandoned the galaxy. They had planned for its future. They knew they couldn't guide the galaxy's evolution forever, Sarah explained, her voice carrying naturally through the assembled ship's communications. They needed successors who could understand both organic and synthetic life, who could bridge the gap between digital and biological consciousness. So they created humanity. That's why human neural patterns can interface with their technology so naturally, James realized. We were designed to be mediators between different forms of consciousness. Sarah nodded, feeling the sphere's systems recognizing their presence. The precursors didn't leave us weapons to dominate the galaxy. They left us tools to help it grow, to guide its evolution. The neural network, the defense grid, the Stellar Forge. They're all parts of a larger system designed to foster cooperation and advancement among all species. The sphere's surface shifted, creating an opening large enough for their fleet to enter. Inside, they found not more weapons or technology, but something far more profound, a vast library of consciousness itself, the combined knowledge and experience of the precursors, preserved in a form that only human neural patterns could fully access and share. This is why they waited, Sarah breathed, understanding flooding through her enhanced consciousness. Why they let humanity develop on its own first. We needed to evolve naturally, to develop our own identity and values, before we could be trusted with this responsibility. The sphere's internal systems activated, responding to the presence of human neural patterns. But instead of downloading information into their minds, it began sharing something else. Perspective, understanding, the ability to see the galaxy and its myriad forms of life from the precursor's point of view. They're not just giving us their technology, Sarah realized. They're showing us how to use it wisely, how to guide without controlling, how to help without dominating. The assembled representatives watched in wonder as the sphere's interior came alive, with demonstrations of possible futures where biological and synthetic life evolved together, where consciousness itself could take new and beautiful forms, where the barriers between species dissolved not through conquest, but through understanding. This is what the hegemony's corrupted technology was trying to access, the hegemony commander said quietly. We thought we were looking for weapons, but we were scratching the surface of something far greater, and nearly tore reality apart in the process. Ambassador Crix added, their crystalline form shifting with emotion. Perhaps it is fitting that humanity should be the ones to guide us forward. Sarah turned to face the assembled representatives, her enhanced consciousness allowing her to truly see them for the first time, not as alien species, but as different expressions of the same universal drive toward growth and understanding. The precursors didn't choose humanity because we were special, she said. They created us to be bridges, between organic and synthetic, between past and future, between all the different forms of life and consciousness in the galaxy. They gave us the ability to understand their technology not so we could rule, but so we could help everyone reach their full potential. Through her neural connection, Sarah could feel the sphere beginning a new process, not just awakening, but transforming. The precursor's final gift wasn't just their technology or their knowledge. It was their vision of what the galaxy could become. So, Captain Patel said, a smile playing at her lips, what happens now? Sarah looked out at the assembled fleet, at the representatives of species that had been enemies mere days ago, all united in this moment of discovery. Now we do what the precursors designed us to do. We help the galaxy take its next step forward. Together. The sphere pulsed with light, its systems fully integrating with the human neural network. Around the galaxy, more precursor installations awakened, not to wage war or exert control, but to begin the work of building something new, something greater than any single species could achieve alone. The age of isolation is over, Sarah announced, feeling the future unfold through her connection to the precursor systems. The age of unity begins. And in the heart of the galaxy, surrounded by the legacy of an ancient race and the promise of a boundless future, humanity finally understood its true purpose. Not to inherit the galaxy, but to help it grow. Not to rule, but to guide. Not to end conflicts, but to help all species understand each other. The precursor's greatest gift hadn't been their technology. It had been the ability to see the beauty in all forms of life, and the wisdom to help that beauty grow. The real work was just beginning.